Hello everyone. If you are new here, my name is Emily and I post a ton of bookish content on here. And if you are not new, welcome back. Today's video has been long awaited, and that is finally the reading vlog, the reaction to the Ravenhood series by Kate Stewart. I have read this probably over the last 2.5 months and I just really wanted to soak it all in. I wasn't ready for the journey to end, so I didn't read them back to back, which is why this took so long to make. But you are just gonna see basically like 3 long clips of me explaining each book and my thoughts and my reactions. So we are gonna be discussing them in order. We're gonna be discussing Flock, then Exodus, and then the finish line. And I'm so excited to share my reactions with you guys, and hopefully you guys are going to pick up this series if you have not read it already, because it is literal perfection. Spoiler, but I just loved this series so much and I needed to give it the love it deserved and hopefully inspire you guys to read it. So if you are ready to go on this journey with me, let's get started, and I'll see you guys at the end of the video. Hi baby. So I just thought about making this video as I finished the very first Ravenhood series book, Flock by Kate Stewart, and I was like, why am I not recording this? Like my reaction to the whole series, because I'm 100% reading the whole series, and then I can give you guys my review of the whole thing if you are interested in reading it. I read it on my Kindle, which is why I don't have the physical copy with me, but I just finished the first book and it took me only like maybe 3-4 days to read because it was that good, in my opinion. Definitely was not expecting it to be as saucy as it was, but you know, it surprised me in a lot of ways. I feel like a lot of saucy scenes in books aren't as like blunt, but she just had a way with making it sound more realistic, if that makes sense, and I liked that. To each their own though, and obviously there's more than just that. Like the plot itself was so good. I don't know, just I don't want to spoil anything, but like love squares, triangles everywhere. You learn about the whole, like everyone's families. You learn about the Ravenhood obviously and what they're doing, and it's just like it makes them out to look like the bad guys, but really they're doing good for the world, and I just love that. I love that. And I've never really read a book with like the romance being like innocent girl dates bad boy, and that's what this is basically, and I really liked it. So I have no idea what the next book is gonna bring, which is I believe Exodus, but I'm really excited about it, and I will be reading it probably at the end of December. Right now it's December 1st, and I'm gonna be starting In 5 Years by Rebecca Sturley because it is our book of the month for Lost in the Plot Book Club. But yeah, definitely like a 5 out of 5 book. Really excited to, like I said, just share the whole experience with you guys, but also like write on my blog about it and on my Instagram and just share my experience with it, because this is my very first series, in case anyone is not aware. And you know, I was like, it was weird at the end of the book because it kind of just like stops on a cliffhanger, and I was like, oh, and then I was like, wait, I could technically just pick up the next book and it probably just like starts where they left off. So I'm not actually mad about the ending anymore. But yeah, what is this? It's currently like 8:30 in the morning. I work at 10, so I will catch up with you guys whenever I end up reading Exodus. I'm hoping that I can start reading it like next week, because In 5 Years is not a very long book and I'm eager to start reading Exodus. So I don't know if I mentioned this, but the character development in this book is really good. Like I feel like I know Cecilia to a T. I relate to her so much, and Sean and Dominic and Tyler are all just like such complex characters, and I feel like Kate definitely brought them to life very well. So I wanted to mention that as well, because a lot of the times in most books I find character development is kind of like left on the back burner, but it's so important to the story. So she did a really great job. 5 out of 5. Wow. Okay, hello guys. This is so orange. I don't even know if I can let this be in the video. We're still orange, but it's a little bit better. So I just finished Exodus and thoroughly impressed once again. I know I said I was gonna come on here and like give you guys updates, but I forgot, so it's fine. I'll just tell you how I feel now. So Exodus was definitely like the book that gives you all of the answers. I guess that's, you know, a good way of putting it. However, it takes a really long time to get there, and the entire book you just feel so bad for Cecilia. That girl loves way too hard, but I feel her. So anyway, I don't really know like what exactly I want to say about it other than I gave it a 4 out of 5. The first book was a 5 out of 5. I've heard people say that the first book is like pointless. I very much so agree, because otherwise I feel like the importance of Dominic and then meeting Tobias in this book wouldn't really have made sense. So wow, I'm like not enjoying this orange lighting. Okay, we figured out the orange light. I put my setting on tungsten light. I don't really know what it means, but it looks better in this video. So moving on, we start this book off with Cecilia meeting Tobias. Tobias is a special person. And they basically have this like really bad relationship for a lot of the book, and they're just making like a business deal. So they make this business deal basically where Cecilia just basically wants her dad to be safe, even though she doesn't even care about her dad. And I believe the deal was once they keep him safe, she has to leave or something like that, because they just don't want her to get into the mix of the Ravenhood and how dangerous it is, especially considering her dad is kind of a big part of the story. But over time, of course, they start to feel feelings for each other, and it's still a very spicy book. It's not as spicy, maybe like almost the equal amount spiciness as Flock, but nonetheless very good. This one, like, you definitely see so much more feeling from Cecilia, like deep feeling, because it talks about then, and then it's like 6 years later and she is 26 going back there to get closure. And once again, her and Tobias have this little business deal, and I don't want to like spoil how all that works. Secrets are spilled, you know, Cecilia learns a lot about herself, and I think Tobias does too, I would say. I don't want to spoil anything. I'll say you still get Sean and Dominic in the second book, as well as Tyler, but it is solely based around Tobias and Cecilia, and as long as Cecilia is in the mix, I honestly don't mind. But as a 26-year-old woman, she is so powerful, so strong. She's very like committed to her love towards said person, and she doesn't want to give up yet. So it's a very cute story with a lot of suspense, and I enjoyed that. A lot of spice, a lot of suspense, all the S's. But yes, I finished it. It was 430 pages, I think, and the ending was really good. Leaves you on a cliffhanger, which you need for a series, and I am on to the last book soon. I think I'm gonna start it in the new year, probably in like a month or so, because I want to read a few other books. I'm not quite ready to let go of these characters yet. 4 out of 5 for this one. I think the only reason I gave it a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 was because just sometimes the wording was a little bit repetitive from like Cecilia explaining her love or like how she was feeling. And I mean, I think I said this in Flock too, but like all of these relationships are super toxic, and it really shines in this book. So I was just like sometimes uncomfortable. There were certain scenes in the book where I was like, ooh, maybe not, but otherwise, overall, the plot and the characters, just so. That is my review on Exodus, and I'm gonna catch up with you guys in like a month or whatever when I'm finished the series. But for now, I will talk to you guys whenever the next clip is. Hello guys, I am done the Ravenhood series. I finished the finish line. I don't know why I said Flock. I finished the finish line. 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 I finis I like no words. This series blew me away. I would say this is probably my least favorite out of the three. However, it was still so well written, so beautiful. If you don't know, that the finish line is basically where the second book leaves off. So the second book is Exodus, and this one we actually see Cecilia like 8 months later after everything that's happened in Exodus, and she runs her own like coffee cafe diner thing in like a small city, and then her love interest suddenly shows up and he wants to prove to her that he is right for her, that he loves her, and that he wants to kind of try and like mesh into her life in this like domestic setting. And that's not really his typical style, but he just wants to show her how much he loves her. And I will admit, I feel like this book was a very slow burn for no reason, because everyone who's read the series knows that these two love each other so deeply, and I was just kind of like, okay, Cecilia, like, can you just forgive him already? But I also like really understood why she was so upset. There was a huge twist at the end that I was not expecting. Cecilia was kind of bothering me throughout the book a little bit, and usually she wouldn't. Like the entirety of the series I have loved Cecilia, but the ending I was just like, you're an adult now, like why is this taking you so long to communicate together? Like they're not the best at communicating, but this shouldn't be so hard. And the twist at the end just kind of made it all make more sense. And I'm really sad that I finished it, but also really happy that it ended in a way I am satisfied. I think I did rate Flock 5 out of 5, and then Exodus and The Finish Line 4 out of 5 each. So I would probably give the entire series like a 4.5 out of 5, which is still like insanely good. Yeah, The Finish Line too, at the very beginning, like this just, I don't want to read it all because you need to read it if you're reading the whole series. It'll just make the entire experience so much better. But she does write a prologue about the journey of the Ravenhood, and like honestly I was crying before the book even started because of this. So she basically just thanks us for coming along the journey with her, and it's adorable. So that's the end of this video, I guess. Those are all my thoughts on all three books. I absolutely adored the character development and the relationships in this book. I loved how she kind of used the epilogue as well in the last book to show us where everyone ends up, and it was just a very beautiful ending and a beautiful story. I honestly, if you didn't know this, I had no idea that this book was like a spin-off of the Ravenhood. Makes a lot of sense. But yeah, it is, and I find that very interesting. So I see this as like a Twilight Robin Hood type thing, I guess, with a lot more sex. And yeah, I asked for the entire series for my birthday, just like the physical copies, because I obviously don't own them right now. I need those books, and a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, whenever I feel like it, I am definitely reading them again, because just impeccable. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this journey with me. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said at the very beginning, be sure to go pick up the entire series because it is so good. I did read it on my Kindle, as you guys saw, but I plan on purchasing them in physical form as well, because that's how much I adored this story, and I do want to reread it eventually. So yeah, I think that's it. I am excited to continue reading more series throughout 2022, and I'm excited to keep making more content. So if you guys have any ideas for videos you want to see from me, be sure to leave a comment down below. And if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya!